Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and if you've been playing an awful lot of Modern and honestly I'd say a little bit of the Eternal formats, you're familiar with the loan cards as I call them. Nobody else calls them that, but they seem appropriate because you're borrowing something from the future to benefit yourself right now. One example, Pact of Negation. So it costs 0, and it's an instant, and you counter target spell. Sounds pretty good, right? Unfortunately, at the beginning of your next upkeep, pay 5 total mana. If you don't, you lose the game. Sorry, the loan shark is going to show up to your game and confiscate it. So that sort of gives the impression that this is the fastest card in all of Magic, because you can just say, I need it now. Nothing else matters. I mean, we're talking 0 mana, instant speed. At any given time you can do this. It is absolutely instantaneous. But what if I told you there's a faster card? Oh yes, I'm talking about the most impressive speed of sound mechanic ever printed in all of Magic. Super Haste. Who's the owner of Super Haste, you might ask? Rocket-powered Turbo Slug. This card is a 3/1 for 4, so pretty balanced considering what it does, and it simply just has Super Haste. Super Haste, as far as we can determine, states that this creature may attack the turn before you play it. Now how that works is, well, as it says, you may put this card into play from your hand, tapped and attacking, during your declare attacker step. If you do, you lose the game at the end of your next turn unless you pay this card's mana cost during that, and I think that says turn. Unfortunately, the rest of the text was blasted away by rocket-powered Turbo Slug, so I guess nobody really knows what the rest of that says. But hey, it's like taking out a loan on a high-end sports car. You get to use it now and then pay for it later. No interest until next turn. But as is the case with the typical car loan in America, if you don't pay up when the time comes, they kill you. Does anybody else think this card totally reminds you of the pre-crime division from Minority Report? Anyway, I know most of you are really sad at this point that this card is not legal in Standard or Modern or anything. Pact of Negation is rather expensive, everybody hates it, it's dangerous, it's stupid, it's not commonly played unless you really fully intend to win the game that turn. But the best that the pre-crime division could come up with in Standard is the Eldritch Moon card, Lunar Force. It states that whenever an opponent casts a spell, sacrifice Lunar Force and counter that spell. I like the term, counter the next spell that is cast by your opponent. I wouldn't say it's better wording, but it's more of a creative interpretation on what actually happens. But hey, if you can't be bothered to say, hey, in response to your spell, I'm gonna play cancel, there you go, Lunar Force. It's like counter spells you prepay for. It's basically offensive spell insurance. So between all 3 of these little time-traveling loan from the future type cards, hopefully you can put together a shocking deck that just demoralizes your opponent and messes with their head. Of course, that deck won't even be legal in freeform, which I think quite literally has no rules. But hey, it would be a fun deck and it makes you look psychic. You'd be like some crappy, I don't know, I'll just call them NPC duelists from the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. I mean, you get your clothes from the discount section at Goodwill, you dress like a complete maniac, pretend you're psychic, and find some way to cheat the game. I mean, that's typical Yu-Gi-Oh right there. From the original anime, people, not the actual players. You guys know I never insult Yu-Gi-Oh players. Well, you guys knew it was only a matter of time before I threw in another card from Unhinged. Hey guys, I've got an idea. Why don't you go dust off, let's be honest, your commander deck, and then look through it and see if you can come up with some awesome overlooked cards. Some of your absolute favorite, most game-warping, wildest, weirdest, most powerful yet deeply, deeply overlooked cards that tend to fly under everybody else's radar. Find some of those, leave it down in the comments section, and they might just be featured in an upcoming video. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss these in the future, and in case you didn't notice, these are all in a nice and tidy playlist on my channel, so if you wanted to see all of them in a row, you can just go play that playlist. I'll see you guys next video.